So we decided to write this book because we kept talking to senior women in business and politics and the military who would tell us things like, you know, I walk into meetings and I feel like a fraud, or when people ask me how I got to where I got, I just say I'm lucky and I was in the right place at the right time. And it struck us that this was just clearly not true. These were very able, talented women who somehow suffered from self-doubt.
And I think it just struck us that they were so successful and their lack of confidence was at odds with their success. And we started to wonder whether it was anecdotal, were these just people we happen to know in an interview who felt this way, we sometimes felt that way, or was there more to it? And once we started to dig into it and saw the data, we realized
that the confidence gap is real.
It's real.
That actually there is a large gap between what men feel and what women feel about their ability to succeed. The fact that women don't ask for pay rises as much as men, that when you talk to them, women will tell you that they don't feel they're as valuable in their jobs as men do. And we dug up a ton of research on this that showed us that something that we had suspected was true really was real.
One of the things we also wondered was, where does confidence come from? And I think we were both surprised to find that in large part it's genetic. We set out to investigate, could confidence be genetic, thinking, oh, well, we'll get through that quickly. Of course it's not. It's all nurture and it's from your parents. And of course we were wrong. And
we had to do a crash course in neuroscience, basically.
There's so much new research in neuroscience now, and so much evidence that there are really a number of genes that affect confidence. And then we did something scary.
We decided to get our own genes tested. Having spoken to neurologists who work with rats and monkeys to discover if there are certain confidence genes, we decided we wanted to know if we had those genes, if we were genetically predisposed to being confident.
I think we both, well, we thought we knew what the results would be, and in many cases we were surprised. I would say the bottom line is that neither of us has particularly good genes for confidence.
Right, and we tested the whole range of genes, and of course there are lots of genes. It's not just one, there is no one confidence gene, but there are a group of genes that are generally recognized to contribute either to anxiety or to the flip side, which is confidence. And we found that on all of the genes we tested, all 4 genes that we tested for confidence, we basically drew the short straw.
And that upset us for a while.
But then we realized, yeah, it also made us realize though, didn't it, that in a way we have confidence and we have overcome our genes.
Exactly, and I think that's what was really great about doing the test now instead of in our 20s, because we were able to see what we were able to do with our lives and our raw material. And really that's, for us, when we finally understood that confidence is in a large part a choice we can make, that was really exciting.
One neuroscientist, do you remember Laura Ann, described it to us really sensibly. She said, you're born with a set of genes, and that's basically your concrete highway. But during the course of your life, you can build bridges and tunnels and other roads around that highway. You'll always have that concrete highway, but you can build structures around it that basically can change the way you are. And I think what Claire and I have done through the choices that we've made, and it's been deliberate choices, has been to build new pathways.
Although we didn't realize it at the time,
no.
but that's what we were doing.
There were 2 times while we were writing the book that we came across research that really made us stop and think, wow, this matters. And I think the first time for me was when we interviewed a professor in Berkeley, California at the business school who talked about the relationship between confidence and competence.
It was a little depressing, let's be honest. Katty talked to him first, and I kept reading the transcript with her saying, no, this can't be right, but he doesn't really mean this. Essentially what he has found in his studies is that confidence matters more than competence. And of course we thought, because women want nothing more than to be competent, and we work so hard and we keep our heads down and we get our job done, and we may have been missing a very valuable lesson.
You know, it's something that I think empirically we've all felt for years, that For decades, women have, as Claire said, put their heads down, played by the rules, and thought that our natural talents would be rewarded. And we've watched, slightly irritated, as the men around us get promoted over us and paid more than us, and we knew they weren't more competent or more able than we were. They had more confidence. And I think it's, for us, in a way, the reason we wrote this book was because we came to the conclusion that confidence is the missing link for women.
When you don't have that confidence and that belief in your abilities, you're not advocating as quickly for your ideas. You're not taking risks. And while you may be kind of doing your work, you're not pushing the limits. And I think that's what Cameron Anderson found too, is that the people who were more confident, they weren't faking it. They just genuinely believed in their abilities more. And that comes across, and it actually made them more natural leaders. They were more socially respected as well.
So you have what makes confidence. It's partly genetic, it's partly our environment, it's partly the way we're brought up. But for women, I think the reason that there is a confidence gap is that sometimes we do things to ourselves that undermine our own confidence. Women have this habit to do something called ruminating, which is not actually a cow chewing grass. It's that thing that we all do of like letting a question or a criticism or a doubt go round and round and round your head until you're crazy.
Yeah, I do that constantly, and I didn't realize that it was so specific to women. But once we started to talk about that, you realize how many women do that we just stew on things and we don't let go of them. And that is really, that is so debilitating, and it's such an enemy of confidence.
I had the thing the other day, I mean, even having just written the book, and for all I know about this, the other day I was on air in the morning doing a TV show, and I asked a question that was kind of stupid. And at 6 o'clock that night, 12 hours later, I was still beating myself up about that question. I did a great 3 hours of television apart from that one question, and the thing I remembered was that one question.